Hey guys, I'm here with Shawn James. If you don't know who Shawn James is, he has an awesome YouTube channel called My Self-Reliance, where well, I'll let him tell you a bit about that channel in a minute. But he's from our neck of the woods when we're back at the cabin, from Ontario, Canada. So if you enjoyed our cabin series, you're definitely going to want to check out Shawn James's channel. Go to My Self-Reliance. But Shawn, just tell us a bit about what you do up there at the cabin. And
well, I've been
you do a lot, we know
yeah,
that.
people ask me what the channel's about, and I stumble around. I actually usually have the people that are asking the question fill in the blanks and say what it's actually about. I guess it's really off-grid wilderness living. So I started the YouTube channel about 10 years ago, and just started documenting my outdoor trips and kind of my passion, going back to the passion that I had as a kid, which was to spend more time outdoors. And I always wanted to live in a cabin in the wilderness, and just got to that point in my life where I said I need this for my happiness and just to be a better father and better husband. I need to be the best that I can be, and that's where I shine. That's where I just feel more at home, is just to live more natural. So we started this path to self-reliance as a family and as an individual. And that included like growing our own food and then building a shelter, so building a log cabin in the wilderness. And it's the log cabin that people really caught on, or really the audience really loved that part of it. So that's when the channel really grew, and I started focusing more on capturing that part of my life, was building these cabins, but building a full off-grid homestead, all the infrastructure, so the gardens, the sauna, like bathhouse, the cabin itself to live in. So everything you need to live a wilderness life and be fully self-reliant.
Yeah. And you pretty much self-taught on that? Because I know you built a cabin when you were younger.
Yeah, but even that was, self-taught, definitely, just reading books and reading all the old-time stuff, Jeremiah Johnson movie and things like that, you know.
That's awesome. And then just getting out there and doing it, which I think is key.
Yeah, still learning, and at 54 years old, every time I do anything, I feel like it's the first time I've done it, because I'm not very good at it, but I persevere and I just learn as I'm going through the process.
Well, it's really fun to watch, and I notice you use a lot of old techniques. You could use a chainsaw, but you'll use a handsaw and things like that. Is there a reason behind that?
For me, spending time in places like this, wilderness settings, like to introduce loud, tools just doesn't feel right. Like I seek out those places that are quiet, not just solitude, but also the silence. And it's amazing when you get into those spaces, how quiet it is. And then when you hear anything, a plane go over, it sounds so loud. It's like, how am I going to start up a chainsaw on this, or a power tool, or a generator, right? So,
I agree 100%.
Yeah, so it started with that, and it's just some more romantic. When you're working with organic materials, to just cut through with a power saw or whatever other power tool, kind of takes away the intimacy, like the connection you have with that piece of material. But when you're hand carving it, you have to pay attention to the grain of the wood and the cut in the stone if you're doing stone work. So to me, the whole thing just feels more natural. Feels like that's where we came from, that's where we belong, and that everything else seems just too modern to me. So I'm not a perfectionist, and I'm not hardcore, only hand tools or only primitive. We have this. I mean, this is the opposite of that.
Right.
But to me, it allows us to get into those places, in different places of the world, and kind of experience that same feeling.
Yeah, that's basically been our experience as well. When we started out from office life, from normal life, what we call it, the old life, to this, we just fell more and more in love with wild spaces and quiet places, and places like we're in now. And we'll try to pan the camera around and show you. It's gorgeous here.
It is.
Another important part of your channel is your sidekick, Cali.
That's right.
She's here hanging out.
And she knows when the camera's on, so she sometimes is camera shy, and sometimes she likes it. She's 7 years old now. She's been with me since the beginning of the cabin build, and is a real audience favorite for sure.
Yeah.
She's a character. And she's not very well socialized. She's very much a wilderness dog, and that's what people love to see, this dog acting, never wears a collar, so acting like a wild animal. She literally hunts down animals, or she'll eat the remains of the animals that I harvest. So that's what she survives on most of the time.
In touch with her ancestry. That's awesome. Well, today, the reason we're talking, and Shawn happened to be in Arizona at the same time as us, so it worked out great for us to get together. And we thought it would be really fun to take a quick tour of his camper truck, which is right behind us here, and let's go check it out.
Sure. I think one question I think people would have, first of all, cabin living, then going to this, like, it's a bit of a stretch, but like I said, we did want to see more things. We wanted to see more of North America, specifically Canada and the US, and we needed something that would allow us to get off road. So that kind of eliminated the camper vans, you know, that's lower profile and not, usually two-wheel drive unless you really upgrade. And we also didn't think we could justify having a vehicle dedicated to just that kind of travel. So the pickup truck I already need or use for like hauling wood and gravel and heavy things, firewood and things like that. So it made sense to have the pickup truck, and then let's just throw a camper on top and not have to have a dedicated second vehicle that we need to insure and store and so on. So this worked for us. So that's a 1-ton pickup truck.
Is it pretty easy to take this off?
Yeah, these are, they're powered, so I think it takes me 15 minutes the last time to put it on.
Nice.
So it's really quick.
So you drop the legs, it goes up a little bit.
Yeah, I get it 2 inches off the bed, essentially.
Do the
take those off. It rises up, I back out, and that's it. And then I just lower it back down lower to the ground, so it's not sitting here in the wind.
That's handy, yeah, and that's an important consideration. Our truck, which you've seen, but we still haven't done a full walk around, but is mounted to the frame, and so you can't separate it. We use it a lot because we're on the road a lot, so it makes sense for us, but always think about these options. You drive that truck out, and now it's a utilitarian pickup truck that you can load all kinds of things in the back. So.
And people will even camp in it still sitting on the ground.
Right,
so that's or if we're at a campsite like this, you want to preserve the campsite as you drive away, nobody comes and steals it.
Right.
Then we can just drop that if we wanted to. We never really do that, but
that is an option to consider for sure.
The other thing for us was that this one's there's not many truck campers that are 4Cs, this one's fully insulated with a furnace and a air duct that keeps the water from freezing. So that really made this.
That's important.
Yeah, because when we came down from Canada, I mentioned it was like -30 the day after we left. So we have to camp for 2 or 3 days just to get down to the warmer areas.
And even down here, we're getting some pretty chilly. It seems like back up north they're having warmer than usual weather, and we're having colder than usual, but that's an important consideration. If you're Canadian especially, but even all of the northern US, you can get some pretty cold weather. So you got it mounted on a Dodge 3500 or Ram 3500?
Yeah, Ram 3500 with a bit longer cab. The one thing that I love to show them, because Cali loves it, she has her own stairs to get in and out of the camper.
I love that.
In and out of the truck, so that's her.
Cool. That sets up easy.
Kelly, come here. Oh, she's not going to do it.
She's going to the camera.
Oh no. So this works for us. Like she lies in there, and if we need to go out somewhere, let's say we have to go in shopping or something, she loves the truck so much we just crack the windows or leave it running if it's really hot with a second key and keep the air conditioner on. But we can put a lot of gear in here. We've got solar panels, we've got all the safety equipment for the truck stored in the cab.
Nice.
That's our full first aid
Oh,
thing here and there for the dog and for us. Clothing, all the camera gear, so it holds a lot. So the whole truck and camper together I consider as a system that pretty versatile, but it has a lot of capacity because of all those things.
Yeah, so a normal double cab would kind of end here,
Yeah.
and then it's got all that extra space. So that's a really nice feature.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to store everything inside the camper. You know, you free up all that space.
Yeah, especially stuff you don't use much, like the solar panels and the safety, like the air pump for the tires and the repair kits and all those things. If you put them in the camper, you're constantly moving them in every time you go in or out.
Yeah.
So that's nice. It's big. So the biggest difference between the two units is that this is really top heavy. So as far as the off-road stuff that you guys do more than we do, this thing's rocking a lot.
Yeah, so that's you can, with this rig and with that truck with the suspension, these things are built like beasts. you can get way off the road. We're now down, I don't know how many clicks or miles that road was, and it's got some nice washouts and everything. But that would be no problem at all.
Yeah.
It's just
discomfort really, because it's got the capacity, the height,
right,
and the 4-wheel drive. So
it's just when you get way off camber or something, you want to be aware that you're pretty top heavy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it stores. We've got water fill right here. I think it's a 40-gallon tank on this one. We've got a hot water heater, outdoor shower, shore power. That's the that would
exhaust
be
for the heater. Or?
Yeah, exhaust for one of the heaters. That furnace, yeah, that's the furnace. City water, if we wanted to plug in at an RV park, we can have water just hooked up so you have water pressure. Got our clean outs in here.
Is that an outdoor shower?
Yeah, outdoor shower.
That's a nice feature.
Mm-hmm.
Get on the beach, or with the kids, they'd go surfing and just get covered in sand. We're like,
yeah.
You wash before you come inside and bring all that in.
Good for washing the dog too.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. What was in here, sorry?
That's the, it's locked, but this is the clean out for the
black and gray
water,
yeah.
And the jack power for lowering these jacks.
Okay. And you have a rear awning?
Yeah, rear awning. So power awnings. We wanted manual too, but this model just came with the power, so we left it. So that comes out, and then it has full lights on it.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a second awning on the side, which is good for a dining area. That comes out. That's got LED lights as well. Then we have a backup camera here.
Oh, that's handy.
Ladder goes up to the roof where we have a roof rack. What I was saying, it's so high. I can get my light canoe up there, but you'd have so much height. I can't imagine going across the prairies with 100-kilometer-an-hour winds and having that up there.
You got to worry about low bridges and things like that.
Yes.
Do you know offhand the height you're at now? Or?
I don't. And actually, we needed to measure to go through that tunnel in Zion,
Right.
but he was more concerned about the width.
Okay.
He figured we were 11 feet.
Oh yeah.
Not sure if that's accurate, but it'd be.
It looks about like our RV was 11.1 to the top of the air conditioner.
Yeah.
And we've only run into a couple of bridges that we couldn't go on.
No, really?
Yeah. We just came to a skidding stop once, and it was one of these little bridges. I can't remember where that was, and then there's a road in Connecticut. Anyone who's driven down there, and it has almost no warning signs, and the bridges are extremely low. We got on there, and cars pulled up beside, and they're like, "Get off!" And we didn't know what was going on. We pulled off on the first thing, and then someone said, "You would have lost your air conditioner." Anyway, I don't think you're that high. You don't have to worry about it.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that. So we have the air conditioner up there too, and then solar panels, and then just the regular vents. 400 watts of solar panels that we haven't had an issue. It provides enough power for most of the things inside. Okay. This is a storage locker under here, so I just pulled that stair and set it aside, and that pulls out 8 feet, the full length of the camper.
Like it's a slide out.
Yeah, there's a slide out on half of it, and then just a compartment. So I have my leveling blocks in there, fishing rods, chairs, a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's surprising how much stuff you can fit in there.
All right. This side, it's more storage.
Yeah, storage. If you, again, because of the noise, I didn't want a generator.
Right.
But that's actually where an own-end generator would fit typically. And they would wire it in full time, so you do have backup. I just run a solar-powered power bank here, a lithium battery.
And then you plug in some solar panels.
Yeah, solar panels are stored in the front there. Or these new solar power banks, if you plug them into shore power, like to an AC outlet, they charge in like an hour and a half.
Oh.
I don't even understand how they can draw that much power. But here's where we have our batteries. This is our just the back of our fridge, which is cool because it runs off electric or propane, and it automatically transfers between the two. So we have never had an issue with the fridge shutting down on us. Bluetooth speakers, not that we're always looking for quiet, so we never.
But if you did want to party, you could do it out here.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And this was where your propane is. Or?
Yeah. So they just slide out to 20-pound propane.
Oh, that's neat. It's on a slider. That's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, just to reiterate on propane, it's the fridge is optional, electric propane.
Yeah.
You run the stove off propane?
Yep, stove is propane, and oven is propane, and the furnace is propane.
Oh, right.
And hot water.
Okay.
And the hot water will run off of either electricity or gas as well, and or propane, and you can switch between those two.
Mm-hmm. So let's take a look inside at all those appliances. It's pretty nice in there.
Yeah, we're happy with it. It's great for 2 people and a dog. Yeah. This is a queen size bed. One of the reasons we chose this camper, this Northern Light camper, is because it's four season, and not many of them are. So it's fully insulated, the entire thing. So we have this little pad underneath, a ventilation pad that keeps that off so you don't get sweat, because the issue with a lot of campers is not really meant for living full time on them. So they tend to get build up condensation or mold. So this thing is actually built for the 4 seasons, so it has all these little features that allow it to ventilate better. This is a queen size bed, really comfortable. Clothing, you got 2 cabinets on either side that go down. That stores all of my clothing and just the 2 of them. Of course, my wife has more clothes and more room, so she has a full-size cupboard here as well. Lights are everywhere. We've got a TV here that we never use, but you can turn that around and watch it from here or from the bed, which is handy. More storage there. We took the microwave out because we don't use a microwave, but full pantry all across the top, full drawers down here. Full-size sink, which was impressive, with hot and cold running water, propane burners, propane oven, U-shaped dinette. This table goes down so you can have a bed there, which our daughter has slept on a couple of times. So that's nice. Cali will sleep up here too, but she generally does sleep on the floor, but at night she'll get here, and then in the morning she'll sneak up on the bed. The fridge and freezer, like these, I was really surprised and pleasantly surprised how big the freezer and the fridge are. They hold enough food. Like I think I said, I could figure I could get a month's worth of meat in that freezer alone, and then all of our perishables in here. So I'm confident we could have a month's worth of food for the 2 of us stored on board, which was important to us, because we don't want, even in our normal lives, in our cabin life, we don't like going to towns to shop. So we do that as little as possible. So it's a thing for us. The cabinet's just more storage, and then we have a bathroom here. It's called a wet bath, which means when you have a shower in there, the whole bathroom gets wet. So the toilet's not separate, but it is a composting toilet, and it actually dries pretty quickly in there with the fan. So hot and cold running water in the sink, composting toilet, shower. Air conditioner, which we've never used. Such good ventilation in these units. Like, we have power fan there, exhaust fan above the stove, windows that fully open. Like, they're really good windows in these modern campers. Skylight, same thing. They have screens that pull down. They have blackout shades that pull down. So it's pitch black in here. Like, if you turn the lights on at night and you go outside, you can't see any light emitting from it. Yeah. So we get an awesome sleep in here.
You can do some stealth camping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. It's not stealthy. It's so big and white and tall that you never lose it when you're in shopping. You come out and you're looking for your vehicle. There it is across. So
yeah, you're right. With that kind of ventilation, airflow, like we have the same in our truck. We've never used the AC because it actually just cools the place down.
Yeah, especially they draw a lot of power too, and they are noisy.
A concern a lot of people have is, would you ever, or what's it like cooking inside? Do you have enough ventilation to do that properly?
Yeah, so you do or should have ventilation running. So we have the fan and the exhaust fan, or the whatever you call the fan above a stove, that we do run, because you will get some condensation build up here or heat. So in the summer we'd prefer to cook outside, but if you get that window open, that window, or that fan and this fan, there's so much airflow going through here that it evacuates it really quickly. On the other hand, it's insulated so well that we almost never use the furnace, because if you even boil a kettle of water to have a tea, it heats the whole place up to like 77 degrees, you'll see on here, just by having a tea. So we'll actually have to crack a window. So it's really efficient. That's pretty well it. I mean, it's very basic living, simple living, and it really makes you pay attention. But again, compared to the cabin life, you have to pay attention to your energy, your food, your clothing, everything, is your water especially. You're not, like when you do dishes, it's a little trickle of water, and you just be very careful with it, because you might be 2 weeks before you can fill that tank again.
It's one of the big differences we've had to get used to. You know, living at the lake, water, there's no shortage of water. Right. You can take a shower as long as you want.
True.
But when it comes to the overlanding, it's water, something you have to watch and be careful about. Like you said, electricity, managing that. We had a full rain day yesterday, so there was nothing coming in off the solar, or very little off the solar, so we had to get, you know, pretty creative with that. And then it's weight and space, right? We used to, when we traveled, Carol loved going to antique stores and rummaging around, but now it's like you see all this stuff and where do you put it?
Right.
So we don't do that anymore. I think she still looks, and then occasionally we'll ship it home.
Yeah, we actually considered that, because we love antiques too, of course. With the rustic cabin, everything we buy is antique, so she's elevating at all the antique stores down here we've been passing.
Good ones.
But where do you put it?
Yeah. I like how you've got the place designed, and it's a perfect setup for what you guys are doing. Shawn James has a second channel, just simply Shawn James, right? If you search that, SHAWN.
Yep.
And he posts maybe more of these type of videos where he's, you know, talking about vehicles or other things other than cabin life, and maybe some cabin life talks as well.
Yeah, the main channel is I have a very global audience on the main channel who really don't even want to hear me talk. Right. They're offended if I talk to them. They just want to
hear nature sound.
Yeah, zone out and kind of just immerse themselves in the experience. And then on my Shawn James channel, I like to explain what I'm doing and try to be a little bit more helpful, so it's more educational. So, and I think a lot of this life is appealing to people, and they'd like to learn a little bit more about it, which is, I think, how I probably found you guys to begin with on YouTube channels, researching what should we be looking for to live a more mobile, nomadic life.
Yeah. Well, to check out both channels and get the information that Shawn's talking about, probably on the Shawn James channel. If you go to My Self-Reliance, you're gonna get addicted, so be careful. It's just amazing to see Shawn. Someone in one of the comments said you're the hardest working guy on YouTube, and there's projects going on all the time, and it's just wonderful. So check that out.
Thank you.
And
well, I'm glad we were finally able to meet. Like, we're only less than a couple of hours away back home. Where we live, and we've never met. We've talked, and here we are 2,000 miles away or whatever.
In the middle of the desert. And we finally hooked up. Dan would love to at some point learn some skills from you on not just self-reliance, but the log cabin thing. And you know, maybe that'll work out at some point. But
love to do that.
Yeah, so once again, thank you, and let's go tour our truck.